guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am filming a Q&A. Basically, I went on my Instagram and I asked people to ask me questions. I'll take off my glasses, hopefully it's in focus. But yeah, I asked people to ask me some questions just to get to know me a little bit better, because I think the last Q&A that I filmed was in 2019, probably 9 months ago. So I did this I think 2 weeks ago, and I thought I need to get to this video, and there was a lot of questions, so I probably won't get to all of them, but I will try to answer the most asked ones. And then yeah, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do so. And then what else? Oh yeah, and this is also because I saw there's a lot of new people, a lot of new subscribers to my channel, and yeah, I just thought this would be a great way for you guys to know me just a little bit better. So there were several questions that were very much coming up frequently, so I'll basically do an introduction which will basically answer all of those questions. And that is my real name, or my birth name is Christina Johanna, and then my surname is Strydom, and then my nickname is Christel. So a lot of people had questions on that. It's just on my birth certificate and on my passport and all my identity documents, I am yeah, Christina Johanna. But then for any people my friends, my parents, my sisters, you know, my people that know me, they call me Christel. So I actually go by the name Christel. That's the actual so that's my actual common name, is Christel. And then I am 26 years old. I am turning 27 this year, and I was born in South Africa, so I am a South African. And then, oh, it's a lot of but yeah, I mostly grew up in Durban in South Africa. My dad, we traveled quite a lot for my dad's work, so we lived in several cities. We moved more than once within one city, so we moved quite a lot. But yes, I matriculated or passed my school in Durban. Then I went to study in Potchefstroom for a chartered accountant, and then I did my articles in Johannesburg. I then decided to come to the Netherlands. That's where I currently live, in Amsterdam. I've been here for a year and a half almost. So yeah, that's basically just a quick background. And then also I do live by myself in Amsterdam. I'm single, and I came by myself, and I'm still living by myself. So that's just the background, and hopefully answer a lot of people's questions already. But I'm going to jump into it straight away. Yeah, there were a few people asking the biggest cultural difference between South Africa and your current hometown, or Dutch people. So the main one, and this is quite a common one and that people will always talk about, is basically the directness of the Dutch people. And the culture where I am from in South Africa, we are not that direct. Well, me as a person, I'm not that direct. That's obviously the way I've been brought up, and just in general, I tend to, you know, worry about other people's feelings, so I won't always say as what's on my mind, just to not offend anyone, basically. And the Dutch people are very straightforward. They are so direct, whether it's literally on anything. You know where you stand with them. So at the beginning I had to get used to that, and I am now obviously I accept it. I'm so used to it now. But I would say that is probably the biggest thing. You always know where you stand with them. They are quite, sometimes they can come across as being rude to you or mean, but that's not that at all. It's just they speak their mind. Technically, if you did the same, you know, it will be the same. But I just came from a place, and I don't know if it's all South Africans, but we are more polite, you know, don't say always what's on our mind. So now I'm and this is a nice thing for me, I'm in the midway now, because I will never ever be able to be that direct. But I, you know, left behind some of my, you know, not trying to hurt people's feelings. I'm trying to be straightforward, honest, say what's on my mind, but always in a polite and friendly way. So that's probably the biggest difference. There are a lot of other ones, but I think in the future I can make a video on this because it's quite interesting, and it's also nice to see how you adjust and what is better, what is nicer, what is not so nice. So maybe in the future I can make a video on this, but that is the biggest difference for me. Then does speaking Afrikaans help a bit with the language barrier in the Netherlands? So yeah, that's another thing, is I am Afrikaans, that's my first language. I did like Afrikaans up until I studied, and then I, you know, obviously work environment is English, and then yeah, so I'm obviously fluently speaking in Afrikaans and English. And then I started with my Dutch lessons in February of 2020. And Afrikaans does definitely help. It definitely helps. It helps you first of all to understand the people around you. Even though you can't speak it, at least you can follow along. I would say just as I came here, I probably could already understand like 40%. It was the dialect that threw me off, and it still sometimes does. It's just it's like the way they will speak, but then if it's written out at the beginning, I would have probably understood 80% already. But the way they speak, very like in their mouth, and like roll and roar like that, I can't hear what they're saying sometimes, or I couldn't follow. But as I like stayed here for longer throughout last year, towards the end of the year, I could understand them almost completely, and I could like talk like the normal things, day-to-day things. And now I am at a point where yeah, I have my Dutch lessons. But getting specific back to the question, Afrikaans does help you. It is just not as easy as everyone thinks. I'm not a very language person, I don't know how to say that, but I'm not very like good with languages. So in that self, like Afrikaans does help you. You already have the basis of all the you know, basic words. But Dutch is another language. There's a lot of rules. It's much more difficult than the Afrikaans language. So it helps you, but it's not necessarily going to come here and it will be fluently. Like I'm busy with it now for almost 3 months, and I can still not speak it fluently. So, but it's definitely an advantage. Then, will you ever come back to work in South Africa? What made you decide to go work abroad? So will I ever come back to South Africa? So obviously in everything that I will say, you cannot say I will never come back to South Africa, because I can't see what's going to happen in the future. But based on how I feel now, and yeah, I cannot imagine myself coming back. I absolutely love it here. I've never been this happy. It feels like home. I've never felt this sense of belonging, if I can put it that way. Like since the day I arrived, it's like I was meant to be here. So if I have the decision, I will not come back. Yeah, I just feel much more myself, and just I feel I'm thriving here more so than in South Africa. And the reason I came is because of, so first of all, I was influenced with my parents staying in Germany while I studied, so I could like see the lifestyle. My parents lived in Germany, so it wasn't just like holidays. So that gave me like obviously the feeling of how would it be living in a Europe country. So from then I knew I wanted to, you know, go live abroad. And then yeah, I just love the lifestyle. It's free, it's safe, it's so I don't know, it's just more happy. I don't know how to say, but the main reason was just also like because I've been influenced, like I like the lifestyle, and then I always wanted to travel and just live abroad, and you know, go, and I like to put myself in situations where I can just where I need to adapt, where I need to change. And yeah, that was basically one of the reasons. There's obviously a lot, but mainly because I wanted something different for myself than just living in South Africa, and also because of my love of just traveling and, you know, challenging myself. What was your motivation to be a YouTuber? Now I think this is probably one of my favorite questions, because yeah, I can speak a lot, so I'll keep it short and sweet. The biggest motivation for me was I obviously I love taking videos. I love, you know, looking back at a video and I captured someone smiling, or captured, you know, just a moment in life, because a picture obviously tells a lot, but a video just tells you much more about a person's personality, or just that specific moment or event just tells you so much more. So I started taking videos of my family, myself, and just whatever I wanted to. When we were on holiday, putting up the Christmas tree, so I did that, but I never had the space to, I don't know, to use it. So it was just piling up on my computer, and then every now and again when we wanted to laugh, I'll grab out our ski videos and we'll have a watch. And I always was so happy that I did take all those videos, but I always felt that it's just sitting there somewhere on a computer and I'm not using it as good as I can. So that's why I decided to put it on YouTube, because I obviously edit it into like a summary of that day, of that holiday, of that event or whatever, and it's there on YouTube for me to watch. So sorry, that's the one thing that I just really love it. I love the memories that I capture on camera. And the second thing was just, I want my family to see the life I'm creating this side for myself. I want my kids to one day look back and see how mommy grew up, or not grew up, but you know, made the biggest change and challenge, took on the biggest challenge of her life. And you know, like for my future husband, if I want to show him something, like obviously you, as you get to know someone, you will maybe say, oh, this one time we went to Italy, blah blah blah, then I maybe have the video and I can show him. And the same with my kids one day. And then, you know, the day when I do pass away, when I do, is that how you say it, but when I do end up passing away, it's just like a memory there for my family and my closest people, just to, I don't know, to have. So it's basically, yeah, that's one of the most of the reasons. And then just one other reason is, I don't know, I think I always feel it's my purpose on earth, but I love making people feel good about themselves, just putting a smile on people's face and just making them feel, I don't know, some type of way special. And if I can out there, even if it's just one person, you know, make their day, or take something, I don't know, take some bad out of their day, that literally like fills my heart with the most happiness ever. So when I get like a message on Instagram or even a comment on YouTube, people saying that I inspire them, which sometimes I'm just like, you know, thank you for that, but I'm just so thankful that I can just have a good impact on other people's lives. So, and then what is your favorite spot of nature in Amsterdam to escape the city life? If it's not pouring rain. Yeah, the rainfall here is quite high, rains most of the year. But the nature, I would say, I don't necessarily go to a nature spot, but if I were to say is the main thing that I always do when I want to clear my head or just want to feel good or better, is either going through the park, going for a walk through the park close to me, or I just go to the Amstel River and I just walk around the canal. It's like the most, I don't know, it gives me the biggest gratefulness within me when I walk along the Amstel River, because it's so beautiful. It's true to Amsterdam with the canals and the boats, and every time when I go for my walk around there, I just get the sense of, wow, I am so blessed and I'm so thankful. So that's usually, yeah, going for a walk around the Amstel and then just walking through parks close to me. What was the most difficult part of your articles? So the most difficult part of my articles was definitely, I would say, probably, and it's something that I work towards the end, is just dealing with a client that's not prepared, that's not, basically, if I just put it bluntly, I don't want to say it this way, but it's just when you have a client that doesn't have their things in order, and it's just a struggle, or dealing with a client that doesn't understand what they were supposed to do, basic accounting things. They're in in a proper position, but they don't even understand what they are doing, and then dealing with those people, it's just so frustrating. And yeah, I would say that's one of the biggest things. Then, would you recommend taking a risk on moving, and your advice? Of course I will. This has been the most rewarding thing I've ever done for myself. So I will always tell someone, if you have the feeling within you, or you have the opportunity, or you are just thinking about it so much to, you know, move somewhere, or doesn't even have to be moved, but with this specific question, like if you want to move abroad or to a different country, just go. You can go and experience it for a year, at least give it a year, and just, you will thank yourself for it. I mean, life is so short. Like, go and make an adventure for yourself. I mean, if it's something you are thinking about, I would say go for it. And advice on that is just make sure it's for you. That's something that you want, not because of your friends, family, or any pressure, because obviously moving to a different country or another country, it needs to be, you know, you had to do your research, and it needs to be a country that is something you are looking for. Like, what is the reasons for moving, you know? Is it for the, like, I had my reasons, and not that I'm saying like you need to do as I did, not at all. I'm just saying that make sure the country you want to go to and ticks boxes that you really like and that you want for yourself. How are you fitting into the new lifestyle / country? So I might also make like a video on this, just on how I've been, how it's been living here, because I've been here like a year and 5 months. But just a short and sweet answer is adapting probably took me like 3 months. Like, that was more like just getting things in order. But I would say like just adapting to everything probably took me like 3 months. I must say, like, I can thank God every freaking day for the way, I don't know how to say it, like, He blessed me just by making it a quite easy process, let me put it that way. I didn't find it that difficult. I've been the most happiest I've ever been, and like with this specific situation. So yeah, I'm doing good. I absolutely love Amsterdam. Okay, I just quickly wanted to pause the video here. I am busy editing this video, and I realized that I didn't add everything that I wanted to say while I was filming this. And the only thing that I wanted to just elaborate on was more just on the actual lifestyle that I'm currently living. And I think the most, you know, wonderful part of my life now is just being more active, whether it's walking around in parks, walking to my grocery store, walking in the city center. I mean, I was not able to do that back in South Africa. And then also just cycling everywhere, like, you know, to your physio appointment, to I don't know, to work every morning. No traffic. It's just, you know, jump on your bicycle, go to work, 17 minutes on your bicycle. It's refreshing. It's just a different life, and I absolutely love the fact that I can walk outside of my apartment, walk to my grocery store, walk to my gym. It's just like, I haven't, in 2019, I haven't driven a car at all. But I guess you guys get the point. I just wanted to say, like, elaborate on this point. And also just that I'm so thankful that I only get to experience this now, because growing up in a country like South Africa, which is different and which I also enjoyed, and I'm so thankful for that life. It's just, I'm so thankful also now to be experiencing a life here in the Netherlands, because it's so much different. And now I can just appreciate those things at an age, you know, where I can really, I don't know, just see things, I don't know, just differently, and just appreciate it more. So I'm very, very thankful to be living here. I just love everything about it. Then, what's your favorite music to run to? I need motivation. So my favorite music to run to be honest, I literally go on Spotify. So I have Spotify, and I run to anything with that beat, either also like any like romantic song. I literally put on, it's called chill hits or happy hits, those two. You can see it here. I basically listen to chill hits and happy hits, those two playlists when I run. It's like the basically all the popular focus, all the popular songs going around. So that is what I run to, something with a beat or something that makes me think, so that it takes my thoughts off from running. Then yeah, what do I miss from South Africa the most? What I miss from South Africa the most, I would say probably having this is such a common answer, probably nothing surprising, probably having a proper braai, which is a barbecue, especially with my family. Like I told my friends the other day, the thing I miss the most is usually, and I get this nostalgic feeling, is when the sun starts to set and my mother's busy in the kitchen, like, you know, making like the side dishes, and my father's outside, you know, braaiing the meat, and then as he gets done we all go sit outside at the swimming pool and we just eat and we just talk, and we, you know, sometimes we'll take a swim, or, you know, just that family, and then having just good food, and especially with a braai, because that creates that environment. I really do miss that the most. My next goal, this is so funny because I literally this morning started with something, and it's basically just working on my health and fitness. This goal is very broad because obviously I've got several goals within my like career, life, and, you know, different things, but a current goal that I'm like consciously working on is being it's my fitness and my yeah, just overall health, whether it's mental, emotional, just all of that. I'm focusing on my body. I want to be I just want to be the best version of myself, physical, mentally. I want to make the best decisions on food I put into my body. So that's something I told myself I want to give time. So I am purposely every day, you know, working on that for probably the next 3 months, and then yeah, it would be a lifestyle, and yeah, it's just basically that, just working on everything in this body. Then quick question, how come you don't show pictures of your other siblings and your dad? So my other siblings, I only have 2 sisters. So I've got a younger sister and an older sister. The reason I haven't shown my older sister is because I haven't been back to South Africa. I only, hopefully, if Corona allows me, I will go back home December. So I'll go back to South Africa, and so yeah, the reason she hasn't been on is obviously because I haven't been with her since I started my YouTube channel, which obviously breaks my heart. I miss her so much, but we'll get our chance to catch up. We obviously speak a lot and call WhatsApp call, and she has a kid and a husband, and obviously I miss her kid so much. I've seen him when he was like a small little baby, and he's turning, is it 2 or 3? I always get confused. No, he's turning 2, like in almost a month time. So that's the reason she hasn't been on any videos. And the reason for my dad, so my dad, him and my mother visited in summer last year, and it's just my dad is not a social media person. And also I will always ask for example, my friends, my mother, my sister, whether I can put them on camera. I will always ask them, because this is a passion of that it's my passion, it's something, a hobby I do, so it doesn't necessarily mean, you know, that other people will like it. So my dad is just not a social person, so I will talk to him and whatever, but I'm not going to shove the camera in his face. It's not like he told me no, I cannot do that. Of course I can, it's just I'm respecting not to do that, and I don't have to do that. So that's the reason for that. And my younger sister, she was on camera because she visited me in December. What is your favorite part about your job? So my favorite part about my job is probably being able to travel to different countries. That's definitely my favorite part of my job. I traveled to Prague, to Curacao, and I've traveled to Luxembourg, and I would have traveled to Miami, but then Corona happened. So I'm very thankful and happy about that part of my work. Was it hard to leave everything behind in South Africa and move to the Netherlands? So for me it was personally not hard, just because I always knew I wanted to move since I started working. So for 3 years my mind was always prepared, like I was speaking to my family about it, was open in the air that I will leave South Africa once I'm done with my articles. So when I signed my contract to come to the Netherlands. I think it was like May in 2019. You know, I had the whole year to prepare, like mentally, you know, actually leaving my family behind. So it wasn't that difficult. My parents raised us quite independently, even though we are very tight and knitted, like family, very, very close. My mother's my best friend. I get so, like, my sisters are the world to me. Like, we get along so well. I mean, my father has his 3 girls. We are, you know, just his little 3 girls, and we are very tight and like close. So obviously that sucked, but in a way, I don't know, I feel like the way I've been brought up prepared me for this, just because my parents did move to Germany. So I was in South Africa alone for 3 years. I had my older sister, but other than that, and obviously other family members, but I couldn't just, you know, drive to my parents' house and be like, oh, I've got something wrong, or I'm not feeling well. Like, I couldn't. My parents were in Germany, I was in Potchefstroom studying. So I felt, and that's always how it amazes me, how God will just put things up in your life to prepare you for things. And so yeah, it was an easy thing for me. It was obviously super sad the day when I had to leave, and like especially like the few days going up to it, because it was Christmas. But like, also the one thing is my parents support me 150%. They were like, girl, you better take this opportunity and go make a, you know, life and living for yourself. And having that is just, it makes it so much better. They are so supportive. So someone asked, has there been other opportunities outside of audit since arriving in Amsterdam as a CA? Yes, there has been. There's a lot of other opportunities, whether it's financial controller, internal audit, any like finance-y type of jobs there are. How have you formed friendships outside of work in a foreign land? So for me, I was quite very lucky that I came across with my 3 best friends and their husbands. So we were quite already like a group. So within like the first 3 months, we you know, had each other's backs and we socialized quite a bit. And then only yeah, then I started like meeting people through people. So then I started like meeting South Africans that were already here, and then I actually obviously became friends with colleagues, and through those colleagues I made friends. So it's basically through people I've met other people. I've met Sophia actually through my YouTube. She messaged me on Instagram, and luckily it worked out that way. We are very good friends now. So I met a very great friend over YouTube. So yeah, that's mainly it, through work. And then and I know it says outside of work, but through work I met people that are now friends outside of work. And then through the current like not current environment, the current like friend group I had, some of their friends arrived, and then I met them. So I don't have necessarily a lot of Dutch friends. I have a very good friend, but he was a colleague of mine, or is a colleague of mine. But other than that, it's mostly South Africans that I'm friends with. And then I've got a few friends at work which are Dutch people and American people. So yeah, okay. And just a quick I'm just quickly going to respond to these questions, and I'm gonna try to keep it short. Is the pressure and stress at the same level or more or less in comparison to South Africa? I would say it's a little bit less, but I mean, the type of work is still the same, and the type of things that stresses me out are still the same. But I would say overall it's a bit less. Is the work-life balance any different? Yes, it's a lot different. Life comes first this side. You basically tell them, you know, if there's something going on. Like, I've been through a few things last year, which I will talk about in the future, and they were very like helpful. They don't make a big fuss of it. With my injury as well from last year, it's like, girl, take care of yourself, you need your knee forever. You know, it's just you come first, not work. I see. Okay, so I get the question, because the thing is, I did move here with my friends, my friend group, and this person is asking whether it's easy to make friends. And to be honest, yeah, if I didn't come here with my friend group, my situation would have definitely been way different. So The only thing about that I can say is, in any place where you move to, you would need to get out of your comfort zone, and you would need to put yourself in positions to meet people. At the beginning, I did want to, you know, branch outside of my friend group, and I, you know, got like apps where you can meet up, like expat apps, and the one I used was Meetup. And you go to those things, it's so, oh, I need to make videos on these things, but it's so outside of your comfort zone, but that's a way you can meet people. Obviously, when there's work functions, you go to the functions and the socials, and the more you spend time with those people, they maybe become your friends, and through them maybe they invite you to their housewarming or some party and you meet people. So it will definitely be more difficult if you go to a country by yourself without any friends, but yeah, there's certainly ways. I'm gonna make a list of all these things, and hopefully I can make videos on, you know, how to make friends in a new country when you move by yourself. And I'm gonna make a list of this now. But I think this is all because I'm already, yeah, over half an hour filming, so it's already a long video. But I hope this gave you, I don't know, a little bit more of myself and just my overall like life and just, yeah, feedback on, you know, how life is here in Amsterdam and work and all of that things. But I'm going to make a list of a few things that I can touch on, especially like working with pressure and stress from work, and then a bit more on, you know, moving to a different country, maybe by yourself, and how you make friends. Yeah, I think I will do that somewhere in the future. If I can get to it quick enough, I will. I really hope you enjoyed this, and then I will see you next week with a new video.